Hey YouTubers, here we are at Western Iowa Tech. I'm working with Blayton and we're doing an ATV alignment. This is our Honda 420 Rancher ESP that we've been making a lot of projects out of. Right now we did some front end ball joint replacement, tie rod ends, and Blayton is doing alignment on this. And I wanted to show you a really slick way to do a fast ATV alignment. If you know that your rear wheels aren't bent, you can do this. If they're bent, it won't work very well. Blayton's going to string that yarn around the side, make a note of the axle height so that the string runs at axle height, and then bringing it to the front wheel. And again, on the front wheel, he's going to go at axle height. So notice that he's tying off on this. It doesn't have to, you could put a stand or whatever up at the front to tie that string off of. But here's what I want you to check out. This front, the string just comes into contact with the rubber of the front side of the rear tire. And by doing that, it's setting the square of the rear axle as a reference point so we can square off the front tire. Now this little bar that we have is not the height of the front axle, so he's simply going to prop it up with the handle of that hammer. He's going to get it to the height of the axle, and now he can make his measurements. Just be careful when you're lifting that hammer up that you don't change the contact point of the front of the rear tire. Alright, next thing he's going to do is make his reference measurements. This particular ATV is a toe in. What was the Blayton measurement for toe in?
10 millimeter.
10 millimeters?
10,
so half of it, you set the other side at 6 millimeters, correct?
Yep.
So if we set this side toe in at 6 millimeters, then we'll be toed in 12 millimeters. All right, so that's our goal. So notice he took a front measurement, a rear measurement. Where's it setting now?
51 and 56. So it's 5 toe in.
5 toe in, so we're 1 millimeter off.
Yep.
Since this is school, let's make it 0 millimeters off.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and zero that out. Okay, you on 6 millimeters there?
Yep.
All right, let's lock the lock nuts because sometimes it'll change as you lock the lock nuts. So make sure you hold the tie rod as you're tightening the jam nuts on each end. Look good?
Yep.
All right, awesome. Let's go over the key points then. Started at the back of the machine, tied off on the hitch. If you don't have a hitch, you can still tie off onto something. When the string came around the back wheel, making sure it was centered up with the rear axle. The string obviously is going to be tight against the wheel there. We want to come right up, or the tire, I'm sorry. We want to come right up against the tire on the front side of the rear tire. String is obviously it's away from the wheel on that front wheel. Again, if the rear wheel or the front wheel is badly bent, this won't work that effectively. So make sure that you know your ATV. Tied the string off on the front so that it's just coming into contact with that leading edge of the rear tire, and then took the measurements off of the front wheel. Our toe in was slightly off. Loosened the inner and the outer jam nuts, and then use the flat right there to adjust the tie rod so that we had our proper toe in. And remember, if it says a toe in of 5 to 15 millimeters, you're only doing half of the toe in measurement on this side, the other half on the other side. Good work, Blayton.